Zelda Starboy. So since we've already covered the storefronts for this week, I want to take a little bit of time today to share the supposed pricing for the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. And this came to us by the store, or from the post of Level Up. And they shared that Play Asia has supposedly leaked the Ocarina of Time remake price, and that's going to come out to us at the price of $60 supposedly. And so, if they do, I think that's a fair price. That's pretty decent. It kind of lines up to what they did with the recent release of Star Fox that came out at 60, and I think what they did with Metroid Prime, I think that was also at a cheaper rate, but that was a couple years back. But yeah, this price of $60, especially in today's time where everything's coming out $70, $80, I think that's a pretty fair price at the price of $60. Now, it's still widely regarded as the highest Metacritic rated game of all time. Now, for me personally, when I was in elementary school, middle school, about this time, like this game was like life-changing for me, because this is actually this and Mario, in the N64 Mario are the games that got me really like kind of hook, line, and sinker into gaming. Now, obviously, I've been playing before that. I've been playing the NES, the Super NES, the Sega Genesis, but this right here this game right here and Mario 64 are the games that kind of sunk me into completely falling in love with gaming. And I for one will say that the Ocarina of Time, like, I think holds a spot above the Breath of the Wild for the top Zelda game of all time. Excuse me. But yeah, as far as Breath of the Wild goes, I mean, we can sit here and argue about which one's better. I mean, I'd say Breath of the Wild is tied for first place, because they came out in two totally different eras, and we go back here, and they're both like, well, actually all the Zelda games or recent, or as far as like mainline titles, they're all like pretty highly rated. But we go back. Well, they're playing a little trailer. We'll go over that trailer here in a minute. But we go back here, 1998, 99, and you can't, like, this was a generational thing. And then we come over to 2017, right there, 97. So I mean, two points lower, but like I said, you can't really beat any one of these games. Let's go ahead, while we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer. Go ahead. See if we get back to the beginning here. It's not gonna come on. Okay. All right, here we go. Alright, here we go. Alright, finally came up. I mean, just imagine back then in 1998, and we hadn't had. I mean, this was the first generation of like 3D gaming. I mean, and you're seeing this for the first time back in 1998. I mean, we all thought back then that this was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, not for like this game in particular. I mean, yes, we're talking about Ocarina of Time, but just like just the 3D worlds, across like Nintendo and PlayStation, because they were the main two frontline at the time. But now, obviously, that was for the Nintendo 3DS version, but let's see. Let's get back out of here. But yeah, man, back in the day, I mean, you couldn't really be getting into between this and Mario. And then we come over here, in 2017, and for today's generation, I mean, this was kind of breathtaking as well. Pun intended. This is kind of breathtaking as well for today's.
Upgrade your adventures in Hyrule on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom games will both have Nintendo Switch 2 editions.
Oh, that's for the Nintendo Switch 2. Alright, but yeah, so we won't go through the whole trial. I didn't realize that was going to be for the. I didn't realize that was going to be for the Switch 2, but yeah. So you go back and comparing the two, but across the series, it was just a great series of games and their counterparts. You had the Ocarina of Time, and then you had Majora's Mask. 2 years after the fact. And that came in at 95, and then the follow up for Breath of Wild coming in 6 years later at a 96. So I mean, you're sitting here looking at all four of these titles. I mean, the lowest one being 95. So. The whole generation of gamers, coming in both sets of times, and I think for me, it's just like both have comparable situations coming in and introducing a whole new generation of gaming to gaming in general. I mean, it's just a great series of games. And for them to come out at $60, I think is a benefit for this generation. And we take a look back at I'm thinking before Ocarina of Time came out, the 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 closest comparison I had to that at that point was was A Link to the Past, because it was closely related to that game. It was kind of like a 3D version of a Zelda, Link, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. It was a 3D version of that. Now, obviously, different gameplay, and all that, but it was there's also been a lot of comparisons to it having a similar structure to A Link to the Past. And the direct game I think we had before that, unless I'm missing somewhere, the game we had directly before that was the Game Boy version of Link's Awakening. But yeah, and then for the first 3D Zelda, here we go. We had Ocarina of Time coming out in '99, and for me that was just, as far as a first time experience. I just remember in elementary school just always being excited on the weekends just to get in there, and go through the game. I think it was with that and Majora's Mask. Um, Complete, got the guidebooks, got everything, and I just remember spending like whatever extra time I had, I was on these two games, and I think those were the first set of games that I'm thinking that well, I mean, obviously we didn't have the tracking at the time, but I just remember wanting to be and going through the whole thing and multiple times to complete every little thing and get all the collectibles, find every nook and cranny. Now, obviously, there's more stuff we're learning about the games today. Well, not even today, but like after the fact that stuff came out. Of course, we didn't know at the time, but yeah, for them to come out at $60, I think, like I said, it's good that we're, they're not trying to price gouge us at $80, but like I said, it ain't confirmed. So let's hope they stay at the $60. Let's hope that's true. But yeah, this is like it's saying it right here. There's no official confirmation from Nintendo yet, but I'm hoping to everything that it's $60 just for the base one. Now I have a feeling too they're probably going to come out and do like a collector's edition. Obviously it's going to be priced out higher than that. Now the collector's edition is probably going to come out at that $80 to $90 price range, and there's a possibility they might even do a system for it. We don't know, so hopefully we'll get some collector's edition. Nintendo's been pretty good about doing collector's editions and system editions for the Legend of Zelda series. They had I think a Switch one. I think the OLED came out with the system. The Switch Lite came out with the system. And for the Wii U, I think Zelda was the only one that had like a themed version of the console for the Wii U. So my hopes are up at some point they'll announce a collector's edition for here too. So obviously I'll be getting the base game, but also picking up the collector's edition as well if they come out with one. So yeah, if when Nintendo comes out and releases price, hopefully we'll be at that $60 price point. At any rate, tell me what you think. Tell me which version of the game that that you like best. Was it Ocarina of Time or Breath of the Wild? Or you're like me and you think they could be tied at first for Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. And for me personally, this is for all four of the games. I've gone through all four, beaten all four, and I just recently downloaded the Switch 2 versions and I went through the Zelda notes, and that helped with the last little bit of collections for the Korok seeds. So that helped out. That helped out a bunch. You know, doing the last little bit of that, and you know, ended up 100%ing those two games as well. Now the only part that I didn't, and I'm so glad they didn't include it in the 100% part, was creating or going through the Master Sword trials to get the unbreakable versions of the Master Sword in both versions of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, because that like, I'm not gonna lie, I even went through the Master Mode version of Breath of the Wild, and the normal mode and the Master Mode, it was just ridiculous trying to get through those trials. I'm so glad they didn't include that in the 100% versions of that game. And just as a note as well, I'm kind of surprised they didn't include this either. With Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, when you go to upload or upgrade the outfits, they don't include that in 100% either. Now, in Breath of the Wild, I upgraded most all the outfits to a level 4. With Tears of the Kingdom, I just went through and got the buff stats, so you just have to level them up twice at that point. But they don't really cover, they don't really include the upgrading to all the way, or leveling up the outfits all the way to level 4 in the 100% playthrough, which kind of surprised me a little bit, because I thought that you had to, I thought you had to do that to get to, you know, part of the 100%. But so in Tears of the Kingdom, like I said, I went through, you know, got the to level 2 on most of all the outfits and got the stat buffs, and pretty much left it at that. So anyway, that was just a little extra side note there. But like I was saying, tell me what you think about the pricing of Ocarina of Time. You think that $60 is decent, and will you be picking up collector's edition if they come out with one? All right, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So definitely gonna be hopping to it when it comes. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Starboy out.